Hi everybody, this is Diana Ulabari and this is my math literature lesson plan. And I chose to focus my lesson plan on the second grade, and the lesson title is called My Piggy Bank. And this is a lesson that follows the book that I chose called The Penny Pot. And for my students that are going to be completing this lesson are going to be working with real change in order to end with $1 total, and they will be able to practice their arts and crafts into creating their own piggy bank that they can keep when the lesson is over. So first off, here are my standards. Determining whether a group of objects up to 20 has an odd or even number of members. By pairing objects or counting them, write an equation and an even number as a sum of two equal addends. For my students who are in second grade, they are focusing on learning how to count higher than 20. So I feel like this content standard is a perfect replica to help them. The next standard I chose is use addition to find total number of objects arranged in rectangular arrays with up to 5 rows and columns. Even though this lesson we won't really be going past the second column, however, students on this level will be learning how to count into the 100th place. And the multiple intelligence are focusing on logical reasoning for mathematics and visual as to where they would be visually counting and looking at the amount of money they have in front of them. For the assessment, the teacher is going to review as a class what each coin represents. For example, a penny is 1 cent, a dime is 10 cents, and a quarter is 25 cents, and a nickel is 5 cents. So the students will have a quick review before beginning this lesson plan to refresh their memory and have an easier time with the lesson. For diverse learners, someone who needs assistance, they will be allowed to work in groups if they are struggling. Students will be allowed their own coin sheet that I will provide with them that has all the information and amounts of coins, how much each is worth, to help them through the lesson. Students will bring their own change and modify how much they will have to comprehend to reach their amount, which is $1. And if students are not able to provide for their own personal coins, they can use the fake ones I will provide in my classroom. So as I mentioned, students will need to bring change, preferably not just all quarters, but bits and small pieces of change in order to help improve their skills. To start off this lesson, the teacher will review, as I mentioned before, and will do a small demonstration of how she would count up to $1 with the change that she has available. And after that, she is going to show them how to physically create their own piggy bank with their pieces of paper that they will be given, and they can decorate and make it stand out in any way they want. For the rationale, I believe that this helps students gain a better idea of the lesson and why exactly they are doing it, rather than feeling not knowing or being aware of what exactly they are doing. The next one would be allow students to see how the teacher method has helped reach your goal. For example, I know as students will look around and see their classmates be doing something different than what they're used to. Seeing a teacher's way will maybe give them some more comfort and in completing the lesson properly along with their classmates. Allow students to engage and talk among each other. I am a strong believer of forming small groups and having them do an activity like this together, because I feel like it can help bring off pressure and have them a easier time in completing the lesson without feeling pressured they're not understanding it. As we move on after the intro, the students will preferably work with their small groups, or if they want to work individually, they can, and the teacher will distribute small bags with coins in it. As I mentioned in the beginning of the lesson, students are in charge of bringing their own change, and the teacher, will mix up the bags and provide each bag with a shorter amount than $1, and students will be given the bag, and they will have to then count and figure out how much their bag has inside. So any student could have a bag with 50 cents, another could have a bag with 60 or 70 cents. They have to be able to count it, calculate it, and see how much they need in order to reach $1. And the reason why for having these rationales for the middle of the lesson. Students will be challenged their own knowledge and practice it on their own. They will be able to practice their arts and craft skills, and they will use critical thinking and mathematics skills to develop strategies in order to figure out how they are going to add and figure this out for themselves. In the end, students will be completing their task of creating $1 with their change, and they will be able to keep their homemade piggy banks after they completed them and be able to put coins in them throughout the school year. However, these will be displayed in the classroom in a safe setting, and students, as I said, can enter their own change and then eventually end up taking it home and using it as their own personal piggy bank. And the reason why I chose these activities right here are to show their new gang knowledge of counting money, to show that not only can they count to $1, but they will be able to piece together and counting more money as they get older. Students will be able to understand the important principles of counting change and advancing their mathematics skills. And for homework assignments, I will be providing for each student a small sheet that has coins on it, and they will be added together, and the student has to calculate what coins are being shown and calculate the amount that the question is asking for. And as a fun activity at the end, students who end up bringing their money in there and end up putting change throughout the school year, if they need a pencil, they want to buy a new eraser, they want to buy a notebook, anything school related, I, the teacher, will provide that, and they can use their money to buy those materials throughout the school year. And this is my lesson plan for math literature, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.